Thank you for joining me. One thing that I have found is that Isagenix attracts the best of the best, which is probably why you are here. So I trust that tonight I'm going to be able to give you the information necessary for you to be able to take your health, hope, and happiness to the next level. Let's get started. My job is not to sell anything. My job is to empower others so that they can have a better tomorrow. My job is to empower and inspire as many people as possible so that they can know that they are capable and worth so much more than they ever thought possible. My job is to educate, encourage, and empower. That's what I'm here to do. All right, so we're going to have a real quick disclaimer. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA, and these products are not intended to diagnose, treat, prevent, or cure any disease. Got that out of the way. Great. Let's go to the next quote I love by Hippocrates. Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food. All right, so Isagenix offers solutions to transform lives. To transform means to make a thorough or dramatic change in the form, appearance, or character of. Is it okay with you if I share my story with you for a minute? Great, thanks. I'm going to get personal. I was sick all the time from the time I was itty bitty. And when I was 14, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder. And I had struggled with my health, always. I started looking from the time I was 10, when I got really, really sick, started going all different routes, natural routes, medical routes, trying to figure out what was going on with me, why I was sick all the time. And after 4 years of intensive testing was when I was diagnosed with that certain autoimmune disorder. Anyhow, I would get sick and I'd have these flare-ups all the time when I was growing up. And by the time I became a mom, I had learned how to manage my life so that I could get by without having these flare-ups that would put me down in bed and just flat. As a mom, I couldn't be in bed all the time, and so I would usually just end up laying on the couch for 2 or 3 days. Felt miserable. My skin would hurt. I tell my husband that my hair even hurt. When he would leave for work, he would gently kiss me on the forehead because he knew how much pain I was in. So, but like I said, I'd learned to manage it. So I'd only have these flare-ups maybe every 2 or 3 months. March of 2016, I had the worst flare-up I have ever had. It was going on a week, and instead of getting better, it was getting worse. And so I called my good friend Carrie MacArthur, and I asked her, I begged her to have her husband call the formulator for Isagenix. I knew that they were friends with him. I said, will you please call him and ask him to make something that can address this? I had done enough research on my own that I knew what was causing my issues, and I also knew that every single thing I had tried hadn't done anything for me. And so, because it never addressed the root cause. Anyhow, I talked to her and she said, well, you might want to try this product and see if it helps. And that's one of the things I'm going to talk to you about tonight. And my life, since being introduced to Isagenix, has literally been transformed. It has now been over a year, and I've not had a single flare-up. And I'm not saying that Isagenix was what cured me or that I am cured. However, this has been my transformation. And my health, my hope, and my happiness has increased tenfold. So I want to share with you a little bit about why I feel that's happened. The human organism is an integrated network where complex physiological systems, each with its own regulatory mechanisms, continuously interact, and where a failure of one system can trigger a breakdown of the entire network. Everything works together so perfectly in our bodies. It's amazing. And when one thing goes wrong, everything can break down. So, think for a minute in your life, where have you seen some of those things happen in your own body? And tonight, it's not just our bodies, right? The mind and the body together make up the soul of man. So it's equally as important that we take care of our bodies as it is that we take care of our minds and our spirits. We have to work on all parts of us, and that is what takes care of our soul. Our bodies have over 100 trillion cells. That's a lot of cells that we get to help make sure that they're getting everything they need to function at their highest level. The cells have many parts, and in the center of the cell is the nucleus. And within the nucleus, we have our chromosomes, which are, if you could see, if you were to unravel the chromosome, that's our DNA strand right there. And at the very ends of our chromosomes, we have these little tips. They're not actually green, but these little tips right here are called telomeres, okay? They act like the plastic tip on a shoelace. What happens when that aglet, that plastic tip, when it wears down, what happens? The shoelace starts to fray, right? Same thing happens to our cells. Our cells start to fray. We get a breakdown of the chromosome, and our DNA literally is breaking down when the telomeres fray and shorten too much. Now, we're conceived with about 15,000 bases. That's what they measure the length of a telomere by, bases. We're conceived with about 15,000. By the time we're born, we're at 10,000 bases. And death is 5,000. And they have been able to link every single symptom associated with aging, every degenerative disease, with the shortening of the telomeres. We have two kinds of shortening. We have our basal shortening, which is the process of aging and cell replication. And we have our accelerated shortening, which is like our lack of nutrition in our food. And stress is one of the greatest killers of telomeres. It's like we are literally burning the candle at both ends. So this man is Dr. Bill Andrews. He had a life's mission to find the cure for aging or die trying. When he was a little boy, his dad told him that he wanted to live to be 130 and still feel good. And he believed that he could. So that got him on his path. And in 1994, he won the Nobel Prize for his research with telomerase and with telomeres and discovering telomerase. Telomerase is found in all of our cells, and it is active, most notably active in our reproductive cells. When our reproductive cells divide, and our reproductive cells are called immortal cells, every time it divides, the telomere actually lengthens back out because of this gene telomerase. Here, when he started finding all of this out and discovering this, Harvard got really excited. And they said, we're going to try this with mice. So they took a batch of mice. These two mice are from the same batch. This one here on the right has the equivalent of Alzheimer's and is balding, and his hair is graying. This one on the left has had his telomerase, activated. And you can see his hair is growing back out. His brain actually regrew. So this mouse, the brain had shrunk 25%. This mouse, the brain has literally regrown by 25% just because they turned telomerase on. So they were saying, hey, we're basically turning back time and we have found the fountain of youth. However, what about people, right? So Bill started searching and trying to find a way to make this applicable to humans. And he had over 304,000 different things that he tested and over $30 million invested in finding this. And out of that, I believe it was either 5 or 7 hits that he'd gotten, things that actually worked. However, they were all way too toxic for human consumption. And then somebody introduced him to this man right here. This is John Anderson, also known as the Mineral Man, Master Formulator. He is one of the founders of Isagenix, and he's formulated for over 600 different companies, over 2,500 different products, and he does it working with all natural ingredients, herbs, and botanicals. And he told Bill, he says, I believe that nature has the answer, and I know that I can find a solution for this. He had not, before Bill, only 100 papers had ever been written on telomeres. And so John didn't know about the science behind telomeres and telomerase. So he got really excited. He's like, if I'd known about this, I would have been formulating for this long time ago. So he said he could do it. Bill didn't believe him. He was right. Using all natural ingredients, he sent samples to Bill's lab. Bill created the equipment to be able to test for telomerase. And so John in his lab was creating formulas and would send all these samples over to Bill. And Bill would test them. And the first time he sent a batch of, I believe it was 13 over, and he got a hit. And Bill's thinking this guy's really lucky, right? Well, he sends another batch, same amount, and he gets another hit. And that's when he knows they're really onto something. And that's when they came up with IsaGenesis, which is known as a telomere support. It has a lot of antioxidants, so it addresses the basal cell, and there's also herbs and botanicals in there that also address the accelerated end of the shortening. All right, so just some stories here of people that have had some amazing results after they've implemented the use of IsaGenesis. This is Bob Sheridan, also known as the Colonel in the boxing world. He's announced more fights than anybody else. Anyways, in 2011, he had a heart issue. His doctor said he would not survive surgery and they couldn't do it. Basically, they sent him home to die. So that was about the end of 2011. Middle-ish of 2012, here he is doing better. His doctor says, I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing better. And he was able to go back to work and start announcing fights again. And here he is about the beginning-ish of 2013, and that's after his heart surgery, a week after his open heart surgery that was very successful. This woman is 81 years old. She lives in the Mideast. Anyways, she was on a massage table and she had to have a pillow under her because she couldn't lay flat. And you could see her back is arched and humped so bad there wasn't a chiropractor around that would even touch her. And her chin, it was so bad that she couldn't lift her chin up off of her chest. This is 5 months later, and the only thing that she had done different was adding IsaGenesis every day. You can see her back is flattened out a lot and she does not have to have the pillow underneath her. This is her again right here. You can see what a huge difference. Here she couldn't lift her chin off of her chest, and here she's looking at the camera, and Dave also likes to joke that her husband took too much IsaGenesis. And this story I love. This is my friend Carrie. She was born with a thyroid disorder and didn't have eyebrows and had a hard time losing the weight. And she experienced some pretty cool things. She grew eyebrows for the first time in her life, dropped the weight, and feels really, really good. And I love her story. All right, so we've talked about telomeres, but now we have another layer to go with our health. What we put into our body is possibly the most powerful leverage point that we have conscious control over. Sometimes, though, it doesn't feel conscious, and we're going to talk about that. So we're going to talk about what we eat. Every 28 days, our skin replaces itself, our liver every 5 months, our bones 10 years. Our body makes new cells from what we eat, so we literally become what we eat, what we put into our bodies. Most people have no idea how good their body is designed to feel. I can absolutely attest to this. I had no idea I could feel as good as I do now. And we want to create healthy habits, not restrictions. Restrictions do not work. We need freedom to have fun and live life. These kids right here, these are two of my kids. They're enjoying their Isagenix shakes. Kids do not do well with restriction, right? But they're getting everything that they need and they love it. So the food that we eat can either be the most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. Really, it's something that we need to be conscious of. And we have this thought pattern, or this thought, emotion, behavior pattern, especially when it comes to food. When people get really stressed, when they start having a lot of stress in their life and they feel that, their behavior usually is to go to comfort food or to overeat. It's a cycle. However, when our body is hungry, it wants nutrients, not just calories. So I've found, even for myself, that this cycle can be interrupted with A, knowing what I'm thinking, and B, getting the proper nutrition into my body, because that way I don't crave the stuff that is bad for me. Food, like your money, should be working for you. And if you've ever heard this saying that what you put in, you get out what you put in. Right here, what kind of level of output in life do you think you're going to have from this food? Probably pretty low, right? Not going to feel great. So what about this food? It's a lot better, right? It's really good food. This is all healthy, organic, everything. However, it's still lacking something. Our foods today are so deprived of minerals, so depleted. We have over 70 years documented, actually more than that now, of soil depletion. We have up to 85% less minerals in our soil than we did 100 years ago. Fertilizers, herbicides, pesticides, modern intensive farming has stripped the minerals from our topsoil. In 1953, UCLA did a study on a plot of farmland in California, and at that time, you could have one bowl of spinach would supply you with enough iron for a week. In 1997, you required 43 bowls of spinach for enough iron for a week. And now it's actually 51, I believe, 51 bowls of spinach. Even Popeye doesn't want to eat that much spinach to get his iron in. And the plants might look the same, but they definitely have fewer minerals in them. So if you could get all the nutrition that you needed, all the minerals that your body needed in one shake, and it tasted good, would it be worth it to you? Totally is for me. All right, so Isagenix has chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry shakes. They are amazing. Like I said before, we love them. It gives you all of the iron, the magnesium, the selenium, the fiber, the probiotics, all these things that we need in one shake. And because of how the fiber and the protein interact with the natural fruits and the natural sugar that's in it, it's actually very low glycemic. The whey that we use comes from New Zealand. This is incredible. You guys, it's undenatured whey protein. So the whey protein in the United States, if you're familiar with the pH scale, we have 0, which is very acidic, and we have 14, which is very alkaline. Our bodies, to be the healthiest we can be, need to be between a 7 and an 8. The whey protein in the United States is closer to a 3, sometimes a 4. The whey protein that we get out of New Zealand is at a 7. This is huge. When we're below a 7, we have inflammation and all kinds of things build up in our body, and our body becomes a breeding ground for disease. So when we can stay between a 7 and an 8, then our bodies can be in homeostasis. So these cows in New Zealand have not been treated with hormones or antibiotics. The way that they're milked is when they need to. It's not on an intensive milking schedule. And they are free to roam, and they're grass-fed. Also, the protein in it, the way they process the whey, the milk, It's at a low temperature, so it preserves all of the digestive enzymes, which is fantastic. And if you can't have dairy, not to fear, we also have, or if you're vegan, we also have plant-based shakes. So you can drink more plants. And meal replacement bars as well that are dairy-free. All right, so when we give our body what it needs, it's going to give us what we need and take us places we never thought possible. This is not a short-term diet. This is a long-term lifestyle change, and I'm going to explain why diets don't work here in just a second. So this is about nutritional rebalancing, not dieting. Most of the time when someone diets, what happens afterwards? They usually gain all the weight back, plus some, right? And the reason why is we have all of these chemicals and toxins coming at our bodies all the time, and our body creates visceral fat, and that's what traps all the chemicals and toxins and keeps it from going to our organs. So when people go on a diet and they lose a lot of weight, guess what? All those toxins are still in their body and they're built up. And their body's defense mechanism is to create more fat to surround all of that to keep their bodies safe. Well, here we talk about cellular cleansing. This is what IsaGenex is amazing. Another thing IsaGenex has an amazing solution for. Helps to remove the toxins from the body, creates lean muscle mass, melts excess fat away, provides the body with nutritional balancing, and it keeps our bodies lean while managing toxins. So that's why people can release the weight and it stays off, is because they're getting rid of all of those toxins as well. So a healthy outside starts from the inside. And cellular cleansing is like a shower for your cells. And we're going to cleanse for life, not for a day, not for a week, not for a month. This is for life. As long as we're breathing, we get to cleanse. And this is what Isagenix created, Cleanse for Life, which actually I really love. It's a juice. And like I said, it's a cellular cleanse, not an intestinal cleanse. So it's really, really gentle and easy. Helps remove toxins, increase energy, build lean muscle mass, lose weight. Helps to strengthen the immune system, supports our vital organs, helps to eliminate unhealthy cravings, supports healthy brain chemistry, slows the effects of aging, helps lose visceral fat, our liver loves it when we can cleanse. Helps restore antioxidants. We have ashwagandha, burdock root, licorice root, turmeric, Siberian ginseng, aloe leaf gel, and peppermint leaf. The aloe leaf gel is one of the things that makes it so gentle on your body. And it is, like I said, one of my favorite things. Okay, and so why are you going to cleanse? If you eat food, even healthy food, if you're going to go buy your food at the store, most of our foods have been sprayed with chemicals. And even if we're gardening, guess what? The air has chemicals in it. It's everywhere. What we breathe, the chemicals are everywhere. Our water, what we drink. I went and had a bottle of water at a friend's house the other night, and he's like, sorry, I just gave you something that's been linked to cause cancer. Because the BPA in the plastic from the water bottle leaches into the water. So this is another reason why it's so important that we cleanse. And they are finding that we've been hit with over 300 toxins before we're even born. They're doing studies on the umbilical cord blood, and they found traces of jet fuel in breast milk of Eskimo women. So we need to take care of our bodies because it's the only place we have to live in, right? It's the only body we'll ever have. And these are some results of people who have had awesome experiences with nutritional cleansing. This is my friend Jill Birth. She lost exactly half of her body weight. If you want to hear her story, go to YouTube, look up Jill Birth Isagenix and watch her story. It's about 8 minutes long. It makes me cry every time. It's profound. This is Alvy Shepard. He was the 2016 IsaBody Challenge winner. And he played for the Orioles. He was drafted right out of high school, I believe. And he played for the Orioles. He had a shoulder injury when he was 26 years old, and he was out of the game. His life turned very dark. He went to drugs and alcohol, and he woke up one day dying in a hospital bed, and IsaGenesis was introduced to him. And this is him now. He's an amazing man. My aunt and I had the opportunity to meet him, and his life has been so completely transformed, and he just glows. It's awesome. This is my friend Claudia. Between January 2016 and July 2016, she was able to release all the visceral fat around her tummy. I've had people ask me what happened to her hair, and I said, well, she likes to wear wigs. So she's bald by choice, and she likes to wear wigs. This is my friend Jen, and she has been into fitness and health for a very long time, and she says you cannot out-train a bad diet. And so even though she was eating well, this is the 2-week difference just with starting Isagenix and doing the nutritional cleansing. And if you don't need to lose weight, this young lady gained weight that she greatly needed, but it wasn't just weight, it was lean muscle mass. She saw that she could put weight on in a healthy way and still keep her body the way it needed to be. I have friends that have had eating disorders that this has been a huge, huge blessing for them. So there are some side effects to nutritional cleansing that I should tell you about. You might have more natural energy. You might lose weight. You might be able to break some addictions. You might sleep better. You might have clearer skin and eyes. Your digestion might improve. You might feel lighter in your body and feel happier. You might have a better relationship with food. You might be able to get rid of some cravings. It nourishes your body while it cleanses. There are over 100 nutrients that support the body's systems. Like I said before, it's aloe-based, all natural ingredients, and it is not a laxative. So you're good to go about your normal daily activities, even while you're cleansing. So one of the things that we want to do is be the most wonderful expression of ourselves that we're capable of being. And sometimes we need a little extra help. Adaptogens are amazing at helping us to balance where we're at. I have a story that is very near and dear to my heart, my own personal story of how Ionix Supreme blessed my life immensely. After the loss of my baby, I put that in my body, and it helped to balance my hormone levels and keep me out of the state of deep depression that I had fallen into. So it also is an amazing stress reliever. Adaptogenic herbs are awesome. Wolfberry, schizandra, ashwagandha, hawthornberry, rhodiola, and, if I can say it right, eleuthero. These all help to increase the body's ability to manage stress, help with cognitive function, with natural energy boosts, and help us to have the clearness of mind and just to feel more balanced. Ionix Supreme is a nutrient-rich, rejuvenating drink that restores and protects the body and helps increase the ability to perform mentally and physically. There's over 100 specially sourced ingredients from around the world. There's antioxidants and adaptogenic herbs and trace minerals, Isagenix's trace minerals, to help put those minerals back in our body that our foods are missing. Those are all found also in the Ionix Supreme. Reduces the effects of stress, helps boost immunity. Adaptogens are amazing. They do so many things. And adaptogens help stabilize our moods as well. So this is all about you. You get to love yourself to live a healthy lifestyle. Really, that's what it comes down to. How do you value yourself? The greatest wealth is your health. Jimmy Smith is one of the top income earners in our company. He's in his 80s, and this is what he says all the time. He says, my greatest wealth is my health. He's a multi-millionaire. And he says, look, the fact that I have the freedom to go and do whatever I want, and I have the health to live my life the way I desire to, and I'm not in a hospital bed, that is my wealth. So you've heard my story. There's a couple other stories I'd like to share with you tonight. Is it okay with you if I share some stories? Great, thank you. So this is Tyler and Kelly Dickerhoof. They live in Spokane, Washington. And they're amazing, just down-to-earth couple, very real. And I love their story. So, whoops, let's back that up a bit. Sorry about that. Let me find my mouse. Here we go. There.
Exhausted. Pretty much sums up that time in my life. Being a mom's amazing, but it was wearing me down. So I was on my own most of the time raising these 3 wonderful kids, all under the age of 5.
I was working full-time as a dairy nutritionist. I was also working 60 to 70 hours a week for another business here in Spokane. I was traveling every month. It was hard. I wasn't able to be around my kids, my wife. I knew there was something more.
I guess all the stress showed. We went on a trip to Palm Springs, and Isagenix, it basically found me.
She wanted to do this. She wanted to change.
I started on the products, and I couldn't believe it. 5 days into it, I had more energy than I knew what to do with. I felt like I was coming out of this fog, and my clothes, they were just slipping right onto my body. I posted about it on social media saying how happy I am to fit into my skinny jeans again.
That little post blew up. People wanted to know, Kelly, what are you doing?
That's when we learned about the business side of Isagenix. But I gotta be honest, I was skeptical about network marketing.
We didn't know if Isagenix was just a way to earn a little money or if it could be really a way of life.
It can be really difficult for me in a new atmosphere, being around new people, having to meet new people. But I knew I could relate to other tired mommies, and I knew I had something that they not only wanted, but something they needed. So that gave me the confidence that I could do this.
It was us learning to work together, to communicate, to find a balance with each other. We worked through a lot.
Our time used to be taken. Now it's ours to give. And that's one of the biggest blessings of Isagenix. We get to give time, we get to give freedom. And when I can show a tired mommy how to take control and change her life, it's beyond a blessing. We had to climb some pretty tall mountains to get here, but we wanted it so bad enough to keep going. And now we get to show others how they can have it all too.
Love her story. Real, like I said, she's just very real. All right, our next story is Mr. Dave MacArthur. And this is his story. All right, so I'll give you a little bit of a backstory. He talks about it some in here. But back in 2016, the end of March 2016, he was in a motocross accident and he broke both of his legs. The one was just a clean snap, but the other leg, it wasn't just a break, it was a pilon fracture, which is like dropping a tree from 200 feet up, and it just shattered up inside. And this is his story about his recovery.
All right, this is a big day for me, you guys. As many of you know, I had an accident at motocross and shattered my left leg, pilon fracture. It shattered up the leg in little pieces, and then it broke the backbone, and then I broke my right leg, and they put 2 screws in there. 23 screws in this left leg, 3 plates. That was exactly a month ago today. And I mean, 3 months ago, sorry. Thank you, Carrie. Exactly 3 months ago today. And I want to share something with you. I learned that over 80% of our results is our nutrition. And when I was laid up in bed for 6 weeks, couldn't get out of bed, all I ate was Isagenix. That's all I put in my body. I had anywhere from 3 to 4 shakes a day. No other food. And well, that is food, right? And what I took was the IsaLean Pro. I took the dairy-free. You got to drink more plants, you guys. The vegan shake, Ionix Supreme. These are my main pillars. Product B, this was huge in my recovery. Product B, I upped it a little bit because I wanted to assimilate it a little bit more in this time of crisis for me. What else? I got the Amped Nox. This one's empty. I drank it. The E-shots, the Omegas, the brain support, or the joint support. I think this was critical, the ageless joint support, the brain boost and renewal, the greens, the fruits, the cleanse for life, definitely the 4 pillars in there, and then a lot of the other products of Isagenix. So I just kept flooding my body. Now remember, 80% of our results comes from our nutrition, or even more. So I had the surgery 2 weeks after because the swelling had to go down. So it's really been 2.5 months since the surgery, but 3 months since the accident. After the surgery, I told the doctor, I said, look, I want to run stadiums, and I have a goal to do that at 3 months. And he just gave me that look like doctors do, you know the look. And he says, well, let's just take it one step at a time, and really, realistically, you're looking at 6 months to a year before you could put 100% weight on your left ankle, on your left leg. So, you know, shoot down here, you can still see the leg's not completely healed. It's still swollen up. A lot of scars that I got, you know, here, backside, but it's still swollen, so it's still healing, but this is the time to really be working it. I don't want to let it rest and you know, solidify in the state that the tendons are and the muscles. I want to get them stretched out. So anyways, it's been 3 months exactly today, and that was my goal, was to run these stadiums. So I just want to share with you what mindset, proper nutrition, and not letting somebody establish your results in life and your expectations for those results can do for you. So here we go. Oh my gosh, that felt so good. That's the first time I've done it. All right, so one last thought I want to share. Again, I just want to reiterate, my doctor's the best. He's one of the best in the country at what he does for trauma. But I know that the medical community, they're doing their best and they have the best intentions, but they're basing results on dinosaur nutrition. That's what I call it. This is unparalleled nutrition. We're setting a whole new precedent when it comes to nutrition. This right here, taking us into a whole new era in helping the body to recover. And so don't let anyone, medical professional, your financial counselors, whoever it might be in your life that's dictating to you what you can and can't do, don't listen to them. With the power of the human spirit, anything's possible. 3 months, you just witnessed it. I wasn't supposed to be walking on it till 6 months to a year, according to somebody else's professional opinion. I just proved that wrong. I'm not somebody special. I can do the same thing that anybody else can do the same thing I just did in your life with whatever it is, your goals, whatever it is you want to accomplish. Set the goal and go for it. Don't let anybody dictate to you what you can and can't do. So I'm stoked. It's pretty awesome. I'm feeling great. You know, and another thing about this break as well, less than 10% recover 100%. Again, that's based on somebody else's opinion. Set the goal and go for it. That's it, you guys.
I love his story. Very, very inspiring and very real. Anybody can do it. Getting started, like he said, if he can do it, anybody can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And it's so easy to get started with these products. And as he showed you, there's a sampling. I've only shown 4 of the products tonight. Isagenix has, I think it's over 60 different products now. So solutions for everyone. You get started as a customer or a preferred customer. A customer, there's no enrollment fee, and you get 10% off of the retail price. If you desire to become a preferred customer and have a better savings, it's a $29 membership with auto ship. You can change your auto ship at any time. It's very flexible. And this is the best value. So it's a $29 membership. You get a wholesale health food store, your own personal wholesale health food store. It's pretty awesome. And there's no overhead. You eat your overhead, right? I'm just kidding. A year from now, you will wish you'd started today. And whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are absolutely 100% right. So if you decide that this is something that would be great for you and there's a solution for your life in here, believe it and do it today. So we've talked about how you sign up as a customer, and everybody signs up as a customer first. If you decide that you would also like a chance to get your products paid for or more, what would an extra $500 a month or a week or a day do for your life? I can show you how to do that. It's really quite simple. You just share what I just shared with you with 2 people. It's that easy. All you need to make sure you do is have a qualifying order of 100 BV, which is 2 bottles of IsaGenesis or 1 bottle of IsaGenesis and 2 canisters of shake. It's that simple, you guys. And we're here to support in every way. And there's a lot of bonuses that go into this as well. You can check out You Share, They Share, the video on YouTube. And you'll learn all about the compensation plan and the bonuses. It really is unparalleled in this industry for financial freedom. There you go. I trust that you've received information tonight that can help transform your life and take your health, hope, and happiness to the next level. See you later.